welcome to a proper full-length in-depth studio tour. I've been wanting to film this for a while, but the studio has either been really messy or we've had terrible light or I've been really busy, and yesterday I had the perfect opportunity, so I just did it. I'm going to show you around properly, and I will also talk to you about the furniture and the different pieces I have in there. So let's start with my bookcase. Now that came from Graham & Green in their sale last year. It should have been £400, which is way out of my budget for a bookcase, but they reduced it to, I think it was 158. It had an insane amount of money off. I'd kind of thought about having a bookcase in the studio because I did have a lot of books that I wanted to keep in there, but I just happened to be looking at their sale items, and there it was, and it seemed perfect for the space. So I grabbed it, and I'm so pleased I did. By the way, the beautiful hand-painted sign is by Chris Woodward. I commissioned this from him last year. Eventually it will hang in my office, but for now it's just sitting in the studio. This basket is very special because it contained the very first birthday presents I ever received from Dominic. I painted it with some dark grey chalk paint, and it now stores all of my spare palettes, and also a hook that is going to go on the back of the door. So this is the desk I work at when I'm working on anything on paper, or perhaps my painted sea glass and beach pottery, things like that. I got it at an auction. I think it was around £50. It's mid-century, and we basically sanded it, painted it and waxed it. Dominic helped me with that. Oh yes, I'm showing you the cushion here. That was one I got from one of the Tate museums. It has Tate Modern on the front and Tate Britain on the back. The little wooden cabinet you can see in the background with all the drawers, it came from Ikea several years ago, I think in about 2012. I paid around, I think, £25 for it, but it's really handy because it stores all of my watercolour paints and keeps them all in order. The teal coloured pot you can see here on the desk is actually a Le Creuset utensil holder for the kitchen. I got this from TK Maxx and I found it in their kitchen section. I'd recommend you look there if you're looking for interesting storage items for your studio. It doesn't seem the obvious place to look, but I've actually bought a few pieces from there. And this was another bargain. It was reduced from £28 to £8. Here you can see the little vintage enamel bin that I bought recently, and it actually featured in my previous studio vlog. So here it is under the table being used, and I really love it. So what you're looking at here is my mess behind the door. Usually the door is open, so it kind of hides some of that. It's all of my spare canvases and packaging materials and things like that. When the cupboard is ready in the corner of the room, I need to just sort that out, and then it will all move into there and that space will be clear. The cream metal cabinet was also from Ikea. I've had that for quite a few years. This has been so useful because I can just stuff everything in there. There's so much stuff in that cupboard, but it keeps it out of the way of everything else. It keeps the place looking a little bit tidier. I won't show you in there because there is a lot of stuff, but on the top at the moment are a lot of packaging materials that I use for my orders. All of that will go in the office eventually. These little ceramic Suffolk houses are from a pottery that's no longer there in Suffolk, but I love them. They're presents from Dominic. The succulents are thriving. One of them's even growing a flower. They seem to love it on that windowsill because they get so much light. The mint floor lamp came from made.com, and the small cream lamp on the desk came from a little shop in Brighton. My metal art cart on wheels came from Ikea again. I've seen this one or something very similar in so many artist studios. I would say this is one of the most useful things I've ever bought, because not only does it store all of my acrylic paints and the water jar and the brushes and all of that, but you can just move it around to wherever you happen to be painting. My main easel, the one you can see here, came from Winsor & Newton. I actually won it in a painting competition absolutely years ago, and I've been using it ever since. The desk in the corner of the room was from Redoute, and I think I got that in their sale as well. But the little chair you can see beside it was an auction find from absolutely years ago. I think it's an old school chair. The raindrop basket under the desk stores all of my spare pieces of slate, sea glass, beach pottery. Yeah, it all goes in there just to keep it out of the way. The little wood burner is by Chili Penguin, and it even has a little oven in the top, so we can cook baked potatoes while I'm in there working. And I'm going to show you in a moment just how this fireplace looked before we renovated the studio. The first photo was taken in 2016, and you can see what a state it was in, and you can also see the old tiled hearth there. The next image is after Dominic had plastered the fireplace and the new granite hearth had been installed, but the walls and the floor, everything was still such a mess. But then after a lot of time and effort, we actually managed to achieve this. So that's really quite a difference. So here beside the fireplace is my basket of logs, and in the corner of the room here I have this little table which can be used as a stool as well from Redoute. That has my Rob Ryan radio on it. This chair, by the way, is a vintage chair that has been recovered and reupholstered. I got that from a company called Florrie and Bill. There's the little Rob Ryan radio again. And this little corner of the room I really love because it has a lot of my favourite things in it. The metal trunk you can see is from Redoute as well. Inside there are all the magazines and books that my work has been featured in. The painting of trees on canvas that you can see there was something I found in a vintage shop. I have no idea who the artist is, but I just really loved the colours. I thought it was a gorgeous painting. And what you're also looking at here is my seasonal branch. This is a branch that I decorate differently several times a year. At the moment it's decorated for Easter or spring. That brings us to the end of this studio tour. I hope you all enjoyed it. I feel like I could have gone into more detail about certain things and certain aspects of creating a studio, but if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below and I'll perhaps do a follow-up video. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, it would be great if you did. It would be lovely. We're building quite a nice community here, so thank you to those of you who've subscribed already, and I will see you all again next time.